contractor. I'm a carpenter, okay?
Uh-huh.
But as a carpenter, I just ran into a buddy of mine, as a matter of fact, down the road here, on the way to see you. And I hadn't seen him for a few years. He said, "Are you still doing the carpentry work?" And I said, "Yes." But I said, "You know, we're in difficult times right now. A lot of people that are unqualified are taking the jobs away from people like me and you." He says, "Yeah, I know that. I had 23 trucks at the beginning of this year. Now I only have 12. And you know me," he says, "I had millions of dollars worth of equipment." I says, "Yeah. What's happening to you is happening to me." I said, "People like us are in the wings now. We're in the shadows, even though we have all these qualifications. It's because of the economy, see? They can't afford to hire people like us that have the qualifications and the experience. So it isn't really their fault either. It's not the public's fault. We're all a victim of the circumstances." They say, "Well, sure, I'd like to hire John. He's got 25 years experience and he really knows what he's doing. He's very good at what he does. But I have to hire this man at half the cost, even though he's less qualified. It might not be such a perfect job." I hear this from customers. But that's what we can afford right now. I understand that.
Yeah.
And show business, in show business, as far as actors and actresses are concerned, well, the same thing is happening. For example, they would hire someone like Megan Fox as opposed to Angelina Jolie because we can get her. She has a similar look, but we can get her for half the price, even 1/3 the price, even though she cannot act. She has no talent.
Yeah.
She's just a body.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I'm not the only one that says this.
Sure.
You see, this is what's happening across the board. Even though I am one of the most respected and I'm an award-winning remodeling contractor. I won the Contractor of the Year award in 1985, top remodeling contractor on the East Coast. But here I am doing little handyman type projects, little odds and end jobs to support myself, because those big projects that I did, which were major, I no longer get, because either the illegal aliens that are able to form a business, in some cases even get government grants to start their business. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Because of lying and misconceptions, which is rampant in the business world today, as you know. Bernie Madoff is an example of that. People don't always tell the truth to get what they want. It's the same thing in the construction industry today. You have a lot of unqualified and illegal people in my profession that are undercutting me.
Sure.
And taking work. I figure a job for $15,000, and the people say to me, "Well," true story from 2 weeks ago. He'd give us this job for $8,000 materials and labor, but I can imagine. So he got the job. That proves my point. Even though they saw my qualifications from Family Circle magazine, House Beautiful, some magazines that my work has been highlighted, and said, "Well, you know, here's a real, this is a class guy, knows what he's doing." They hired the guy because of price, half the cost. Now, there's $6,000 worth of material in that job. This is a true story. I figured it out. I said to the customer, I said, "You've got $6,000 worth of material, and you're telling me some contractor is going to do this job for you for $8,000. That means for $2,000, he's going to do 6 weeks' work that takes 2 men to do. You do the math," I said. "You figure it out. That's almost not possible." She said, "Well, I'm sorry, but he seems to be qualified," and they said they met the qualifications. They said they could do it just like you. So we're going to go with them. This is what we're confronted with today. We're confronted with this. One of the reasons why I got out of show business in the acting profession about 10 years ago was because that's what's happening in the film industry. It's not uncommon where somebody that's very professional in one capacity or another in the film industry, and I saw this happen. I saw this take place before my own eyes with a very qualified he was a musician and a composer, and he won the Ivor Novello Award in England, which is like the Oscar in music. And he tried to get this job to score this low-budget film And after they saw his qualifications, you know what they said to him? This is it, word for word. They said, well, we appreciate, you're wanting to work on this film project, but your qualifications, you're like overqualified. They said, well, this is good stuff, but do you have any shit? They said that to him. After we went out, we went to a local restaurant that has something to eat. He was really upset, and he says to me, because here's a man who won the Oscar, in the music industry. He scored films like The Sphinx. And he says, can you imagine them saying that to me? Do you have any shit? I said, Alex, this is the trend now. This is where it's at. Look at the films today. It literally is shit. It has no consistency, no substance. But this is what they're paying for. This is what they're putting out, and the people are buying tickets for this.
Mm-hmm. You should see some of the films we have here up at in the film library.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
What do you mean by that?
Classic. I mean, an amazing collection of rare films, avant-garde film, classics.
Oh, the good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about the good stuff. You know what? One of the best films I've ever seen in my life, and I spent 30 years in the film industry as an actor, a writer, a producer, and a casting director. I worked for the AFI for about 2 years in Los Angeles. What was my point? One of the finest films I have ever seen, and I want to share this with you, is a film called Cinema Paradiso. For acting, for film score, for cinematography, setting, everything about the film is about as good as you can get. It's one of the finest films ever made because on all of those counts, it rates way up at the top, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's one of the finest films ever made. The writing, everything about it, what can I say? It all works. If you took one element out, if the score wasn't as good as it is, and it's fantastic, the film wouldn't have been that good. But it all started with the writing. Whoever wrote that is a very intelligent person, knows something about life and something about the film industry. Have you seen the film?
Yeah, I
have.
Yeah, years ago. I saw it. It was a great film. Yeah.
It's a film that should be studied by anybody that's in the film industry.
Yeah, yeah. The director has made some other pretty good films too. If I remember, he did a film after that. I can't remember the name of that was pretty well received.
Yeah?
Yeah. Probably not as big of a...
I'm not aware of any...
But it was a